The offseason they got a little quiet. Too quiet, I guess. Cause randomly, out the blue, Big Purr done got moved to New York. And not gonna lie, after giving it a few days, I don't know. I start with New York side cause I like it more for them, I think. Now my very first initial thought was would Cat fit in New York? Not from the on court perspective. Love that, but we'll get to it later. But you know, the Knicks done established this culture. Gritty, hard-nosed hustlers. And no disrespect to Karl, but when I first thought about it, it was like, then it hit me dude was just in Minnesota. A super physical platoon with a little mean streak to him. Cat himself played some physical ball and played good enough defense, so it's cool. And I mean, Tibbs done coached the man before, so I'm sure he was cool with this little reunion. Once I got past that, this move low-key fantastic. New York was in need of bigs. Hartenstein gone. Seen something recently. Now I don't know the validity to it. That Mitchell Robinson might be cooked. Don't know if I'm really trying to run Cat at the 5 that much. He can. He been alright there in the past. A mixed bag, I say. Or they could pair Cat with Precious Achua. Jesus. Jericho Sims. Mitch if he can get healthy. Or whatever big they may pick up in the future. But his skill set can help bring some balance to the Knicks starting 5. An all-time shooting big. Does him a lot of work off the catch. Can full live run him off screens, all that. Can also put the rock on the floor. And is great at specifically attacking closeouts. But he is just capable of getting downhill and driving. Depending on how they finesse their lineups, they can go 5 out. Jalen Brunson specifically eating off those. Also, the pick and rolls and pick and pops between them two may be great. The biggest thing for me is gonna be Cat in the post. How effective will he be there? Cause I ain't gonna lie, bro back to the basket game stinks. Nah, I'm just joshing. He just ain't the strongest. But as long as he can potentially punish mismatches, everything will be fine. And defensively, I think he'll be fine too. I think overall, he just average. A decent rim protector. But he'll have some insane perimeter defenders in front of him. So, at worst, low-key, I could see them having a Chicago Bulls type thing going from what? 2021? Zoe Caruso was out there causing hell to the point where, as a big, you ain't even got to be some crazy shot blocker. All I need from you is to slide over and help put your hands up, stay on point with your rotations, little stuff like that. Now, OG and Mikal are different kind of defenders from them two. I'm just strictly saying they might have two guys out there surrounded by average at best defenders, but they so good that you can't even tell. But I say the trade is decently balanced. On Minnesota side, first of all, I had just spoke on how I really ain't want Minnesota to move Cat. Felt like it was too soon, blah, blah, blah. Cat out of Minnesota was something that was likely gonna happen at some point. I thought they'd let him go once that contract was up. But I keep saying it. That new CBA is serious, boy. Got teams extremely terrified of them aprons. Breaking up happy homes left and right. And if I'm correct, Minnesota is one of the few teams in the league that's over the cap at the moment. They would have 100% had to let at least 2 of their key rotational guys go to keep him, since he, Ant, and Gobert all got maxes. Anyways, I love Dante being a Timberwolf. What was it that showed to be the end of Minnesota last year? Essentially, they struggled getting buckets. They repeatedly looked at Ant and needed the youngin' to carry crazy, especially since Cat had left him hanging in the conference finals. Dante got a little something to him off the dribble, but more importantly, he got a flamethrower. 40% last year on 9 attempts, elevating his shooting a little bit and his overall play in the offs. He adding a little something to the table defensively as well. He just showed out this past April, so I could understand if them reports that he ain't want to have a lesser role this upcoming season was true. Also just seeing that he was hurt, he ain't get to play with his boys too, so who really knows? As for Julius Randle, I don't know, I'm kinda iffy. He's a well-known black hole, which can be true, but I think it get overblown sometimes. His playmaking abilities are underrated. As I already mentioned, Minnesota was lacking in bucket getters mastering in bucketry, and Julius does have that in his bag. At times, when he's hitting them tough contested jumpers, he look like he one of the greatest of all time. But he is quite streaky. And as a three-point shooter, man, he sucks. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. Could the shot selection affect it? Absolutely. But outside of his MVP level season a few years ago, we ain't really talking about nothing. It's funny how I brought up Cat's occasional playoff blunders as well, cause Julius sometimes be on a similar type timing. He a tough shot taker and maker, but he ain't like a super elite one. So him being your number one, you're doomed. Thankfully now though, he can function as more of a secondary bucket getter, which will probably also help with his efficiency and consistency. Defensively, I think he'll be fine too. Minnesota already got it, so even if he's just alright, I don't foresee much regression from what was just the best defensive unit in the league. All in all, this was very unexpected. Do this count as a blockbuster? Probably. On New York's side, it's a nice little move. Don't know how much I think it really moves the needle. Had them behind Boston before this, and I still do. They definitely took a little hit departing from Dante, but I mean, all I think they'll need is to find a guy or two that can shoot and or score, which I don't really think is that hard. So, and for Minnesota, not gonna lie, I got a hunch they'll at least try and move Julius. Right now, a little later on into the season, I don't know. It's just a thought. Dante is a great piece to add though, I love that. The West is stacked, so hey, may the best man win for real. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. Like I said, I don't really think nobody was expecting this, especially not right now. I was cooling, and my mans called me, tell me Cat got traded. Boy, I was bamboozled. Like I said, hope y'all enjoyed this one. If you did, leave me a little like. Leave any thoughts you got in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see y'all real soon in the next one.